Good morning. My name is Pamela, and I am your leader for today. I am a fill-in for someone who had something else going on. So you got me today, which I'm excited because I didn't get to lead on Tuesday. I was traveling, and so this worked out really well. I was outside, and you can tell my hair is like foggy, full of humidity. So how are you all today? Welcome to those who are checking in later. I'm still finding a reading. Hi, Amy. How are you? Are you enjoying Arizona? Yeah, the beachy hair. Yeah, it's dry where you are. It is the opposite here. It's very humid. And when I went back to Kansas City, man, that really messed with my sinuses because I'm so used to the humidity, and it's, the Midwest dry winters. Wow. I brought my neti pot, and I was very thankful that I did. Amy says, I'm enjoying it. The sunshine has been good for me. Yeah, that's one thing, is there's a lot of sunshine. We are having very unusual weather. It's foggy, excuse me, and hazy. It almost looks like there's a wildfire somewhere, but there isn't. The sky is a really interesting color. I'm not used to this. It's a new, but today it's burning off. So what? It's 8 o'clock and it's already seeing some blue skies, but the haze is coming in. It's wild. Yeah, the dry's been bad for sinuses. The neti pot was my savior because it, gives moisture. I did that every single day while I was there. So I went on a walk with Scott this morning, and I love the colors of this maple leaf. It's beautiful, oranges and reds and burgundies, but this one is my favorite. Look at this leaf. It's huge. I mean, look at my hand and the size of this leaf. And I love that it's like, this is the spring, the beginning of fall, and then deep into the fall and into the winter. It just feels like this has so many seasons in this one leaf, and it was on the ground. So it fell, even though it still had all this green. Anyway, it's my show and tell for today. I just think it's just so beautiful. And then there's the other one. It makes it look so tiny, and it's really not that tiny of a leaf. Good morning, Elaine. How are you? Yes, great specimens, Amy says. Yes. So they'll be here for a while to look at. Maybe draw. Kathy's here. Good morning, Kathy. She says, good morning, sisters. Elaine says, good morning, with a beautiful hibiscus flower. I'm going to guess that's what that is. I'm not sure, but it makes me think of Hawaii. So as we were walking our walk, here we have these trees. For those of you who just joined, I have my show and tell leaves today, but we have all these trees losing their leaves, so the leaves are on the ground. And then there was a tulip tree. No, not tulip. Orchid tree. First of all, I didn't know there was such a thing. And it's blooming. It has purple flowers on it. Like, this is so crazy having all that. Maybe it's because I was just in the Midwest. There. You should be able to hear me now if you couldn't. don't know what this connection is. I need a more technical person than myself of what's going on, because I get this thing on my phone connected to Pamela's MacBook Air. And if I mess with that, then you guys can't hear me. I don't touch it. But you could still hear me, Amy. Interesting. So how y'all checking in today? I did a bodywork session yesterday, and I feel like this expansion and this solidness, like, it's a very powerful bodywork session. Amy says, I'm checking in tender. Yeah, I think I can show you actually. Let's see. They did cupping. You can kind of, nah, not really. I have some shoulder stuff, and she did some cupping around it. And that stuff works. I don't understand how it works, but it's amazing. Pulls out toxins. Anyone else? How are you checking in? Well, I think what we'll do is we'll move to our grounding, so we'll have a lot of time to draw. So start. Hi, Laura. Laura says, checking and feeling fine. That's nice, because I know you were sick for a while, so that's really nice. So for our grounding, I want you to kind of just find where your body wants to land. And then she says, I put some lips on today. Begin to give yourself a massage, wherever that feels right. Your hand, your foot, maybe just rubbing the tops of your thighs, just hand touching body in movement, and noticing the sensations of that. You know, it could just be this, and just noticing the fabric or the tingling on my skin, even though it's through the fabric. Just what does that, just get kind of lost in that, of what that sensation is. And does it bring up feelings or emotions? Does it change the way you breathe? Does it change the way you hold your shoulders? Does it make you want to close your eyes and just kind of get lost? Maybe just get quiet. We're 3 days from our winter solstice, so we're really in the darkest time of the year, which is the time that we can find stillness, even though we celebrate a lot of activity in this month of when we would really want to go still. And I'm going to read to you from the book Letting Magic In by Maya Toll. The modern concept of chakras evolved through the Vedic tradition, but many cultures have a theory of energy centers connecting our bodies to the outer world. When you let go of specifics and just feel, where does your inner world connect to the outer world? Can you feel the points of contact, the swirling doors in and out of yourself? So just sitting with those questions. Where does my inner world connect with the outer world? How does my inner world connect with the outer world? By touch, I can feel the boundary of me and the outer world. But the essence of me, does that go beyond the skin? I'm just sitting in a moment of silence with the question, where does my inner world connect with my outer world? The swirling doorways in and out of me. And when you're ready, open your eyes and bring them to the page. And we'll draw our circle with an in-breath and an out-breath to complete. And then we're going to draw, and maybe we'll have some image of what we saw, how our inner world connects with our outer world. Just for those who may have just recently joined, here's examples of my mandalas. They're very different every day. This depends on what was said or my mood. Good morning, Skyle. Glad you're here. Today is December 18th. Laura says, managed to wake up early and do some morning pages while I drank a cup of coffee in the quiet of my home. Isn't that the best? So I went to the bookstore to find novels. I like to read novels. Sometimes I go to our library bookstore, but this time my mom gave me a gift card, so I went to a bookstore. And I'm looking at novels. And I pick up this book. I really liked the cover of it. And I read the title and it sounded interesting, so I bought it. And then I got home and I looked at the book, and it wasn't a novel at all. It is a collection of 100 essays. And it is a journaling, 100-day project of journaling. So you read an essay and then it has a prompt at the end and you journal about that. And I just had to giggle of like, okay, the universe is wanting me to journal. But I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm not keeping to the one every day. That I don't want that kind of intensity. But I am like wanting to journal. So when I wake up in the morning, I always read a little and then I journal. So I've started this new thing in my mornings and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And the prompts are really expansive for me. An example, one of them was select 10 images and write about them. And so you can take that to anything. I did it as like memories. So an image of a memory, and I wrote about that. But it could be, you know, this leaf I saw today could be my image, right? I mean, I'm having quite fun. Laura said, this is a first time for me. That is very exciting. And Amy says, I'm in the midst of this book. The book I was just talking about, that would be really wild. Something alchemy. I don't have it. It's downstairs. I don't have it with me. Written by the wife of John Baptiste. And her name is not easy for me to pronounce. That's why I'm not even going to try. But yeah. So visit with mom went really well. I've found a new way. Yeah, the alchemy book, Amy. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh, you're reading that book too. I picked it up thinking it was a novel. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. Anyway, I've learned a secret Oh, Kathy says she has another book. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Nice. Of course, you all know her. Like, we connect on these things, right? That's just why we're all together, because we connect in so many ways. I've learned a secret of how to visit my mom. I stay somewhere else. So she has quiet time and I have quiet time. And I realize she tries to have energy for me if I'm there. So if I leave, she can really rest and I can really rest. So this trip was a really much more enjoyable time with her. We had like some really good fun times. And so that was really nice. And I got to visit and say goodbye to my kid's dad, who has a rare brain disease that there's no cure for, called CJD, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. But I was very fortunate when I went into the hospital. I tapped him. He was asleep and said, "Hi, it's Pam." And he and then he said, "We had fun. We had fun." So I felt like he really knew who I was. He can't say sentences. Some words are, he's garbled, but other words are clear. That was really clear. And then Letitia gave me a heart. You might have seen her posting. She makes these hearts. I started making them, and I finished one while I was at the hospital. So I showed it to him, and he picked it up, and he's like, "Good." Like he was evaluating my work, which was kind of cute. And then he gave it back to me, and then I said, "Do you want it?" And he took it, and he goes, "Great, thanks." And so I took a picture of that. So that was really nice. And then after he said, "Great, thanks," he put it right here, and he took both his hands, and he put the heart there, and I went, "He's going to keep that." So I left it with him. Not that he will really know what it is, but it was a sweet moment, a very sweet, tender moment. So I'm really glad he recognized me and that I got to say goodbye, because they gave him 2 to 8 weeks, and we're in week 4, I think. So every day that he's here, but we don't know. It's hard for my kids. But we're living as if he's just going to be around for a little bit and planning a holiday gathering, even though we don't know. Puts perspective on things, of just live in the moment and appreciate and focus on the good of people, because there's a lot of good. My friend and I were talking yesterday about magic, that magic is everywhere. We just slow down and look, and even in the things that don't go right, there's an element of magic in it. And just seeing somebody who's, leaving this realm kind of brings that to the forefront. All right, y'all are quiet painting. I'm going to join you. I'm going to get quiet painting. I will be looking for someone to lead for 3 Tuesdays in January. beginning with the 6th. So the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th. Anyone wants to step into leadership? It's a great time to do that. I will be out of the country. Going to Antarctica. I learned yesterday that the night before they decide what activities we do, because it depends on the weather. So we're really at the mercy of Mother Nature. And one of the activities we can do is kayaking, which I want to do. And the other is snowshoeing, which sounds really fun. All right, there's no comments coming in. I want to make sure we're still connected. Am I in La La Land, or are we together? Oh, good. Thank you, Amy. Miss M says, welcome to Morning Pages, Laura. Good morning, Miss M. So if anyone follows numerology, she says, I made it. And I'm so glad. Hugs back to you. She says, hugs, friends. So if do pay attention to numerology and you add up 2025, it's a 9 here, which is an ending. And if you add up 2026, it adds up to 10. Then you add 1 and 0, and it's a 1 year. It's a beginning. I hadn't thought of it that way, but I've heard and read about things of this is a big year of releasing what no longer serves and all that. And I got a notice in the mail to renew my license. So I put it on an inactive status, my clinical social worker license. And when I retired, I put it on inactive because well, what if I want to do this again? I don't want to start over. It's a lot of work. And so I got the notice and I sat with it for a couple of days, and it's nope, that part of my world and life is over. So I got clarity, let that go. I'll never be a clinical social worker again. I don't have a desire. And then I got clarity, and tomorrow's my last meeting with WAGs, and they're taking me out to dinner, and it's farewell. And I'm going to step away entirely for a couple months and come back in a much smaller role, maybe walking dogs or day dog foster, but not what I was doing, which was like 10 hours a week. So it's just interesting. I'm aware of these things. I'm just like, no. Miss M says, yeah, snake ear sheds its skin, horse ear gallops away to new horizons. I didn't even realize that follows a similar thing. The Chinese New Year, I'm assuming that is. Isn't that cool? And Skyle says to Miss M, yes. Snake, yeah, so I'm shedding. And it's like I'm clear. I also got invited to this dance thing in Texas. I've done this. I've probably gone down there 5 times. And I would love to be there, and yet I don't think it's mine to do anymore. So that's really interesting because I love dance, but not that way. Or I don't know. Just observations and interesting things to note. I don't know if any of you are going through where you're getting decisions to make and where you're landing on that. Laura says, thanks, Miss Al. And if any words are coming up for your mandala, please share. Laura says, been trying to make it happen, but I guess I just had to stop trying, and then it happened. Isn't that wild? It's so wild. It's so hard to let go, like just surrender, right? Oof. At least I can say for me it is. Kathy says her words are energetic flow. Might be influenced by the reading. It's interesting because I'll show you this in a second, but I've got all these energy centers. I didn't even think about that until you said what you said, Kathy, that I think I am painting energy centers. I'll show you. Laura says, the astrology is very interesting lately. I feel extreme shifts, but still in the liminal space. Kathy says, super proud of you for letting go, Pamela. Opening up is exciting. Thank you, Kathy. It is. And I'm feeling really, what's the word? I'm just open to the new, and I'm not like trying to fill it it's sort of a nice surrendering. Anyway, look at all those energy centers. I didn't even think about that until Kathy, you said the energetic flow. Some of them are grounded, some of them are floating. Miss M says, I'm getting my feet under me today. That'll feel good. I wish I had a red. I don't have a red in this pan. I want to paint red. There might be red in here. Yes, red. I'm not ready to say goodbye. I noticed the time and I don't want to. I want to just sit here and paint with you all. Time went very quickly for me today. Laura says, I love seeing the progression of everyone's mandalas over the years. And hearts are flying. All right. Hugs. Kisses. Love you all. See you later. Miss M says, thanks so much, Pamela. Oh, you are so welcome, my dear.